So tell me what your favorite thing has been about being the head of the Small Business Development Centers in New Hampshire.
My favorite thing, I have to say, the creativity. Each day you wake up and you think, what could I do today to help this particular client, whether it's up in Littleton, the person, or out in the southwestern part of the state. But creativity in terms of, I have a great idea and I can make it work.
80%? Well, therein lies the story of the New Hampshire Small Business Development Center for the past 30 years. It's a story that takes place across New Hampshire, with SBDC's savvy counselors helping to start small businesses, to grow small businesses, and then to be there for the ups and downs they all experience. And there is collaboration with the U.S. Small Business Administration and the New Hampshire Department of Resources and Economic Development. Home for SBDC is the University of New Hampshire. It adds up to a unique package of help if you're a small business in the Granite State. Now, here are some inspiring SBDC stories from the road.
Well, we started as a mom and pop, just the two of us, and we did that for 3 or 4 years, and we pretty much came to the realization, two things. One, that if we didn't have anyone else here, we could never leave, and we weren't really willing to commit our whole lives to the place. And B, it was going to be hard to make a living unless we grew.
If he's been in the office too long, he'll just go outside and get in the dirt, and he'll feel great. An hour later, he'll come in, yeah.
We grow over 800 varieties of herbaceous perennials, which means they die back to the ground, most of them, every year.
I love the fact that Warren would come and roll up his sleeves and really help us apply some of these principles to our growth or new projects or whatever. But the other aspect is there are other businesses out there, we may not see them. Come and listen to any, fears or, feelings of, are we doing this right?
Why would people support the SBDC? You don't think about the person hiring 4 or 5 people making a big dent, but if you take all the different people there are, there's a lot of jobs involved. Yeah, I sometimes is just overwhelmed thinking about all the different places that we spend money. Like we're building a barn over here and we're building greenhouses there, and all that stuff goes in other people, local people's pockets.
Also help to keep some of the young people in New Hampshire, because you do hear about that. So I always thought of SBDC as a startup help place, but no, it's also a way to help us transition into our retirement or whatever we're doing. So I think everyone should keep that in mind. That's the other end of the trajectory of a business.
So when I started Metrics 411 in 2012, I knew that one of the key people I wanted to recruit on my team advisors was the SBDC. They've acted as mentors, they've acted as management coaches, they've acted like an extended member of my board of directors. Really, it's almost like having a business development person. They're a force multiplier, they're a leverage point for any business in the state. And if you're not using them, boy, they're one of the best kept secrets around.
Being in a small business is the worst and the best decision you'll ever make in your life. And like most new business owners, I can remember laying awake at night worrying about cash flow. Well, actually, I found out about the SBDC through an article in a newspaper. I wound up with a meeting with Stuart in Littleton, and it was funny in a way. He asked me to bring in all our books, profit and loss statement, balance sheet, and whatnot. And as we started to review them, I began to understand more and more just how much I didn't understand. So over the course of the next 2 years, Stuart worked with me, teaching me how to look at a profit and loss, a balance sheet, understand what I was seeing. They took ownership of Northwoods and of the project. They really concentrated on making sure that this happened. We started out CNC machining cabinet parts for other shops. Then we got into doing the commercial work, doctor's office, dental offices. and eventually into the residential kitchens. We did windmill blades at one point, templates for windmill blades for a company down in New Jersey. We do some local work. We do a lot of work that goes down into Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey. So we're shipping throughout the country. Right after the hurricanes in 2006, we actually did some cutting that went down for the rebuild down in Louisiana. We did some cutting that went down right after Sandy and went down to New Jersey to help rebuild some of the buildings along the boardwalk. Well, it's critical for businesses like mine and like a lot of the others in the area to be able to have that advice, to have the guidance in doing the paperwork to ensure that the business is profitable and it's around for the next 10, 20, 50 years.
SBDC really plays such a critical role in working with New Hampshire small businesses, making sure that they have the resources, the skills, and the mentoring necessary for them to be successful as they look to continue to try to build a strong economy for New Hampshire.
The linkage between our faculty and students to the companies that utilize SBDC is tremendous, as well as the SBDC linking with the university. And it's one of our crown jewels here at the Peter T. Ball Business School of Economics.
You know, it can be lonely as a business owner. You really don't often have peers that you can reach out to. I can always call the SBDC, whether it be Mary Collins, the director, or our local contact when we have a situation that we're facing and we really need help. They're always a phone call away.
Vintage means a lot of things, but it also, in my mind, it would make people think homemade, you know, old school, which we do. We make everything from scratch and everything homemade, and then we just add all the memorabilia that people absolutely love coming in here to look at.
My dad's dream was to start a little diner all his life. Never made it, so we're doing this for him.
We serve full breakfast, and for lunch we've got homemade soups, paninis, which are like a grilled cheese, a grown-up version of grilled cheese, put on a panini press.
All the soups here are from my grandmother's recipes, on both sides.
What comes to mind for me is the business plan. That was very hard for us, and Sally would, you know, throw ideas out there, but still make us do the writing.
I mean, we've had some late nights here.
I was receiving emails, I would look at the time and I'd be like, my goodness, 11 o'clock at night, and I received an email from Sally, and it was just amazing the help that she was able to give. They make you feel at ease starting your business. She helped me with my QuickBooks. She got that all set up for me. She just has so much knowledge about everything. And small business is the heart of America. And that's where SBDC comes in. So, you know, the lawmakers, politicians, everybody that does the backing needs to understand that, yes, somebody may be able to cook or weld or whatever it is they're doing, but they need the whole package. And that's what SBDC, in my opinion, helps with. We have very rave reviews, so fingers crossed we're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
The Small Business Development Centers bring so much talent and expertise and one-on-one assistance to existing and budding entrepreneurs throughout all of the states. They reach so much farther than SBA could ever hope to reach on our own, and it allows them to focus intensely on the one-on-one assistance that small potential entrepreneurs need, whereas SBA can go off and focus on other things.
Many times we'll have customers come to the bank that are ill-prepared to seek financing, and now we have a resource with SBDC to guide them to put together a business plan, prepare them for seeking financing.
Analcomp got started in Lebanon in 500 square feet. That's about 3 times the size of the table behind me, with 2 people. We were a spin-out of Bob Dean's Synergy Innovations. I was the crazy entrepreneur that ran into Bob and saw that this was an answer to the technology world. You know, you don't have resources when you're that size. Second mortgage the house, cashed in the credit cards more than you should, and kind of underwrote starting the company from a 500-foot lab into 10,000 square feet in Concord, and now into this 20,000 feet that we have here, and soon to be 60,000 feet here in Merrimack. My next plan is the 1 million square foot plant, where we're talking about thousands and thousands of employees working for the good of our country. SBDC is so crucial for those earlier stages to the early and middle stages, because they have those resources. You can call upon them. They're able to help in a real and concrete manner. As I said, for us, we wouldn't have gotten permitted if they weren't able to help us through that process and with the right people. We wouldn't exist. Simple. Nanocomp's on the cutting edge of advanced materials. We are changing how body armor is going to be made, light-weighting aircraft and automotives, and potentially changing the whole world of electrical energy. Saving lives, enhancing national security, saving energy. Those are really the big three things that we do.
So at Citizens Bank, we have an obligation to support our communities, and it's been incredibly rewarding to work with the SBDC to help drive business growth and prosperity throughout the state. Yeah, so we get to see this every single day, and these businesses have a future. They're long-lived, and they continue to create jobs and opportunities throughout the state.
The New Hampshire SBDC has worked with over 70,000 businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs to help start and grow businesses across our state, helping create and retain thousands of jobs for Granite Staters.
As a state senator, as governor, and now as a U.S. senator, I've seen firsthand the real difference that our SBDCs make for our small businesses in New Hampshire. Whether it's helping to write a business plan, get financing, helping to bring a new product to market, or getting into new markets, the advice and counsel of our SBDCs are critical to our small businesses.
This rich tradition of service to our small business community strengthens our state and our economy. I'm honored to join in celebrating the New Hampshire Small Business Development Center's 30th anniversary and thank them for everything they do.
One of my favorite stories is back, 20 plus years ago. I was just a young, Turk banker. And I was cold calling, and I was in southern New Hampshire, and I happened to knock on a door, and up, opens a garage door, and there's this, this guy with this big machine, this big contraption that he had in the garage, and I introduced myself, and he introduced himself. His name was Kedar Gupta, and I said, so what are you doing? And he said, I'm making polysilicon furnaces to be used in the photovoltaic industry, and that meant absolutely nothing to me. But it was the forefront of one of the greatest ideas and the biggest business creations that we've seen in southern New Hampshire.